What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to cover the update 2.1 patch notes, which keep in mind that the 2.2 patch is allegedly coming out a lot sooner than what we've thought. Rumors were October 10th. However, that falls on a Monday, so possibly the 11th. But again, I don't really take rumor mill unless I see the official, either the bulletin or the official Twitter page, kind of come back and give us that information along with the patch notes. But anyways, in today's video, we're going to cover all the changes to the weapon metas and some silent nerfs that were made to movement. I haven't found all of them, but these are two very, very distinct changes that will change the way you play the game. But before we get into that, let's cover these weapons here. So the new I shouldn't say new, but the new vault weapons, the Gold Magnum, the M1911, and the P90 just came out. It took me from Tuesday to Friday to get all three of them tier 1. The P90 being the easiest, the Magnum being not so bad once I was able to figure out the actual mechanic of the weapon on how to get the one hits to work properly. And then the 1911, I'm just going to flat out say this right now. You'll see the damage model for this later, but it does not deserve to be in this game. It is awful. Anyways, so the Magnum does something that's pretty interesting, okay? And I know that Enders is going to cover this too. I did give him the information, so hopefully this reaches out to all the other players so you guys can use this to your advantage of the game. I slowly regret saying this, but the Gold Magnum does one-shot out to 49 meters. However, there's a catch to it, right? So you've got to aim upper body and up, right? So above the chest, so upper shoulders, will one-shot them out to 49. So as you can see here, if I barrel stuff you, it does 88, right? But if I barrel stuff you in the chest, it's 100, okay? So now we'll just mark this guy, and I'll draw him all the way out here. We're at 37 meters, right? Why not? You can see that guy, he dies, and he also dies, okay? We'll just drive it all the way back. So now we're at 54. Okay, I'll just throw it at 50 for you. Okay. He dies. That was a headshot. So, we'll wait for that to reset. Okay. Let's ping that. So 50 meters.
80 degrees. 130 meters away.
At 50, past that,
marking fire team.
You live. You take 81 damage, okay? So, 50 meters, not 49. Initially thought it was 49. But in any case, you can kind of see that. It has to be upper body, okay? Anything below that, well, you see the damage model, okay? It's 88 base, and then the damage fall off will turn into 65. Very strong sniper. It's the hardest hitting body shot sniper in the game, so that's cool. You can hit players who have only been damaged by 12 damage from something else, and you body shot them, and they die. The other thing, while I'm waiting for this crate to come in, the other silent nerf that they did to the sidearms is they switched the headshot multiplier from 2x down to the SMG model to 1.25. You can see that this does 22, 27.5. And that is for the G57, the MP28, and the PF51. Now, the PF51 was already on SMG headshot damage multiplier when it came out, and it just stayed the same. What they actually did to the PF51 is they reduced the base damage. So, the base damage of the PF51 now does 15 instead of 18. Okay? So, now, no matter what, this is a 7 bullet to kill. It does not matter. 7. And if you land 6 headshots, that'll get rid of the player. So no matter what, it'll take you 6 to 7 bullets, 8 bullets if someone has armor to kill them. Okay. Now it's still, you know, good rate of fire, things like that. You just have to deal with the absurd amount of recoil, right? That uncontrollable recoil. It's got a lot of it. But anyways, still good up close, things like that. It's still the best option in my opinion between the 4. I don't need to switch. So the ARs, specifically the AM40 and the Avanti, because it is a 200 round AR. All right, no recoil. Okay, so going to the damage output. This will now one shot, or I'm not sorry, 2-shot you out to 9 meters. So outside of that, it'll do 47 to the head, which is what the M5 does. So within 9 meters, you can see that guy is 9 meters away now. We'll still do 52 to the head. Outside of that, it drops. So that keeps this in line with the M5. So it's a 4 bullet to kill within 10 meters, right? And then outside of that, it's 5. Good rate of fire. Headshot multiplier actually makes sense now. So we're all happy about that. Now, what is a problem is the Avanti, which will 2-shot you out to 19 meters.
Tango sighted. It's near me.
Okay. 52 damage out to 19 meters. This is a problem. But we do know it's getting nerfed in the next patch. So abuse it all you want until this gets nerfed. They're gonna add, you can see very little recoil management, right? This gun is just a laser beam. So this is gonna go away. Hopefully. We'll see what it looks like when they drop the patch. The biggest problem I have with this weapon in general is that it is not a 2-shot within 15 meters. This thing takes 3 bullets within 15 meters. Okay? Why is this on the SMG headshot? It does 42.5 to the head. It doesn't matter if I land 3 headshots. It's a 3 bullet to kill. And when I was getting this gun tier 1, I had to play aggressive to make this thing worthwhile, to get any sort of kills, even if I got a 1-2 trade-off or whatever. So, very painful. And you can notice here, I have to tap very slowly to hip fire. And usually pistols are pretty accurate hip fire, but if I trigger spam this, even this guy, it's you know, this is doing better than what it's done in multiplayer, and that might be because this is a test range. But I promise you, this hip fire is not that good. And then the visual recoil is something that took me a long time to get used to. Do you see the visual recoil on this? Why is there so much visual recoil? You know what I'm saying? So, it's just not appealing. Do I find this better than the M44? No. Because the M44, you can one-shot somebody out to 100 meters, right? You get lucky where you aim properly and you hit him in the head. So, let's move on to the P90, which I think is probably the most fair balanced out of what we've gotten out of the portal weapons so far. It is the MP9 damage model, so it's 22, 5 bullets to kill. It's pretty nice. Good recoil, good rate of fire, and it's 50 round mag. Now, I would have liked to see some other attachments for this just to compete with all the other SMGs with their attachments. But if you have a hard time with controlling recoil or anything of that nature and not really enjoying the scopes, the iron sights are actually not that bad. So I actually did not mind the iron sights for this. But again, when you come to the laziness of portal weapons from the developers, not only not getting a skin to get your masteries, and only get a badge, which, you know, at the end of the day for me is okay, because that is what I kind of want to see on my screen, as a wall of red when I look at my weapons. That's just me personally, but there's no skin, there's no attachments, everything is unlocked, so you don't even have to play with the gun itself to unlock the attachments like you do for everything else. So it's like, alright dude, you do the assignment and you get the gun. Cool, thanks man. Like, there's nothing else. It's not a challenge. I think it's a bit lackluster, and it's just kind of like, hey, we threw this together real quick to give you content because we desperately need content in the game, which we don't have any. So, to me personally, this is not acceptable. But they have been talking per Twitter about adding skins to the tier 1 weapons. Nothing has really been said about the attachments yet. I really hope that they do something with those, because that'll help kind of give the weapons more diversity with everything else in the line to make them a, I guess, more quote-unquote viable option between what is already in the game at the base in All Out Warfare. But other than that, for the weapons, that's really it. That's all I'm going to cover. Let me know if I missed anything, or if you guys have any questions about anything else. The last thing I want to touch on real fast is the movement mechanics. So when you go prone, you'll notice that when I come off of prone to stand up, you see that your character puts his hand on the ground to get up. There is this full half-second delay where you can't do anything. So I can't come off of prone and shoot. I have to wait for the animation to be finished before I can shoot. So what this does to my playstyles, no matter what, I am only going to prone in the game if I need immediate cover. So The other thing that is a big problem for the somewhat aggressive playstyle players who either abuse McKay or know how to abuse the mechanics of movement, when you would crouch spam, you could actively change your hitbox or just throw off the other player, right? They aim for your head, you crouch and they miss, and you land the shots and you win the fight or whatever. But the initial crouch isn't that bad, but when you spam it, you notice how much slower I'm getting? If I crouch spam, I'm barely moving. So that is a huge crutch for players who are not playing McKay. Which also goes back to the conversation that McKay should not have the movement advantage that he has. The grapple is enough to make him unique. But anyways, that's another topic. I don't think any characters should specifically have a increased ADS field of view movement buff while walking. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys for this update. Again, please let me know if I missed anything or if you guys have any other questions. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next one.